And we're back after the break. I have Imran Malik right here, looking all handsome in his dapper suit and everything. Looks like the guy that I see on the billboard when I'm driving down on the highway.
I had to dress up just for you, Dawood.
You know, this is radio.
Sure.
You don't have to dress up for the radio.
Now you tell me.
Okay, well, what people don't know is we're actually recording this because it actually goes out on all of our platforms. So you can catch a lot of these episodes on Real Sense Now, on my YouTube channel, which is Dawood Bedrosian, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Also follow Dawood Bedrosian. That's DAWOODBEDROSIAN. And you can always watch this great content that we have to share with you. So good. I'm glad you dressed up, because the last thing we want is for you to not represent yourself the way that you do, because you're sharing such great information, and we want to make sure that the look matches the great advice.
There you go. That's
there you
right.
go. So we've been talking about insurance. Imran Malik is basically an insurance expert. He's an attorney that covers all areas of insurance, car, homes, life insurance. And, you know, we've had a lot of people text and ask us a lot of great questions here. And, you know, one of the questions that I have is, you know, we're going through a hurricane season. Hopefully nobody has to go out there and file a claim, but there are some old houses with some shoddy roofs that probably need to be replaced. And there's been a lot of changes in the law, and a lot of people have concerns about leaks and damages to their property. And I guess the $1 million question is, how do you know if the insurance company has actually paid you enough for the claim that you have?
Yeah, you know, it's a great question to ask. Like I had said earlier, it's always good to get your own estimate. But the rule of thumb when you filing an insurance claim is, the standard is that the insurance company has to put your home back into its pre-loss condition. Okay, that's the standard. So in other words, unless they're paying you for every single thing that you need to get paid for to fix your home, to put it back into the condition it was, that is what you need to look for. If they're paying you anything
what's
less,
enough? Like, I mean,
Right.
one contractor can come and tell you,
Right.
hey, I can get this thing done for, I don't know, 15 grand. And the
Yeah.
next guy's like,
Yeah.
it's more like 25.
Yeah. Look, in my experience, what I've seen is that the insurance company's estimates always tend to come in low. Okay?
Of course.
And so that's why you have to go with the contractor that you trust, somebody that you know will give you a fair price and will get the home fixed, not give you any upgrades. You can't ask for upgrades when you have an insurance claim. You can only get the home fixed back into the condition it was.
In my case, it seemed like they only wanted to like take care of a minor part of the repair and not actually have to take care of the whole
Yeah.
claim on the whole.
That is a very common strategy that the insurance companies use, Dawood, and it's a great example that you brought up, especially with roof claims. What you'll see is your insurance company will say, oh, well, you know, you only need to repair 15 broken shingles. You don't
Correct.
need to repair the whole roof. And there's multiple issues with that. Number one, the one thing that you need to be aware about, or your audience need to be aware about, is that the tiles need to be matched. So if the roofing tiles can't match, the whole roof gets replaced.
I like it.
Secondly, according to Florida Building Code, if 25% of your roof has sustained damage, hail damage, for example, the entire roof needs to be replaced. So you need to be aware of those things, because sometimes insurance companies try to avoid going there because they know that they're going to have to replace the entire roof.
So you cover a lot of different areas of law. And one area that was massively affected were businesses during the pandemic, everything that happened.
Yeah.
Is this an area that you cover
Yes.
in insurance?
Yes.
And how so? I mean, I don't
Okay.
understand.
Yeah. So, you know, we also do commercial insurance claims. When you have a business and you buy an insurance policy, one coverage that you get through your insurance is called loss of business income, right? Which would cover your business in the event that something happened. If your business had to shut down for whatever reason, you have coverage to pay you for that period of time that your business is closed. So last year, we looked into the issue of whether, when the government forced the businesses to shut down because of COVID, we looked into the issue of whether or not insurance policies would cover that. And what we found was various commercial policies had different language within them. We filed a lawsuit in federal court here in the Middle District in Orlando, where we asked the court to afford coverage to a doctor's office for their closure. And a lot of these similar types of cases were facing dismissals throughout the country. Fortunately for us, we got through. And we're in the middle of litigating that case. And if we're successful, the idea would be that the business would be reimbursed for the time that it had to close because of COVID. And that could be huge.
So here's a good question for you. It seems like COVID has hopefully come and gone, and hopefully we don't get another variant of this. Since that time has basically passed, can businesses still come and seek those kind of claims?
Yes. Yeah, a great. It's asking like the best questions. Okay.
Listen, in my other life, I think I wanted to be an attorney as well too.
You sound like you're cross-examining somebody.
I'm telling you.
But to answer your question, your insurance policy affords you with coverage, right? So if even if something happened a year ago, as long as you had insurance during that time, you can still file a claim. Now the idea is, and what I would tell everybody is, as soon as something happens, you file it. But just because sometimes people aren't even aware, hey, I didn't know my insurance even covers this.
I didn't
right?
know that.
Yeah. You can still file the claim. We can deal with it, and see if we can get it covered. But yes, if you paid that insurance premium, that insurance policy afforded you coverage at that time, you have the right to file that claim.
Okay, talking about COVID, and I'm sorry to bring up a bit of a dark subject here. A lot of people talk about life insurance.
Yeah.
And it just seems as if it would be something your parents would buy, an older generation of sorts.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people's income has been stretched so much, so it just seems like an additional expense that a lot of people are, not looking to take on. And in many cases, I think people are maybe think that they're young and healthy and they just don't need to go out and get it. Unfortunately, a lot of people passed away as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Yeah.
And I mean, have insurance companies denied those kind of claims? I think it's unfortunate for the people that don't have life insurance and have left their families with nothing behind.
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, we get calls from people who have told us that their life insurance claim has been denied from after they've lost a loved one. And you think to yourself, how would you deny it, right? Yeah. But it happens. And we saw a lot of these claims, especially because of COVID. A lot of people passed and were filing life insurance claims. Insurance companies were denying them. And what they do usually is, for example, if the person passes away overseas, they play this game where they say, oh, well, we can't verify if this person has passed away or not because it's overseas. We're not gonna pay this claim.
So what do we have to do? Like literally bring the body here or something?
Well, I mean, that's basically what they're saying. But really what you need to do is call me. Because when I am able to present that claim to them and when they're aware of the fact that this individual is going to go into litigation, ultimately they will try and resolve it because they know that, you can't just get away with that. Secondly,
it's sad though.
It is.
I mean, when you get to an unfortunate situation like that, and then the insurance company is meddling with your life.
Right.
business.
And I mean, those kind of tactics are across the board. I know we're talking about life insurance, but you tend to find that those kind of tactics being used on any type of insurance claim. So you always want to be on your guard. They tend to, make it look like they're working with you. But in reality, they're looking after their own interests, which is why you need to look after your own interests, have people on your side too that can help and assist with that. So, life insurance is important. I think it's something that we all need to be aware of for the sake of our families. We never want to leave our families in a difficult position. It's a tough conversation, but it should be had, and you should try and get coverage for yourself so that, you're protecting your family. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Well, it's an inevitable conversation.
Exactly.
The adage goes, death and taxes are the only two things that unfortunately you can get rid of.
That is absolutely true.
So talking about insurance, I'm sure you have this issue as well in another area of insurance, which is auto insurance.
Yes.
And fortunately or unfortunately, the fortunate part was a joke. Mostly in South Florida, there's a lot of Florida drivers that don't drive with any insurance whatsoever.
Right.
And unfortunately, this isn't some back farmland area where your little 12-year-old kid can drive a truck. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that get into these kind of situations.
So let me tell you about that, right, Dawood? What happened was this past legislative session, there was a bill that was passed that would go into effect and essentially say that every Florida driver has to carry a minimum of bodily injury insurance coverage. I think that it was a minimum of $20,000.
I don't even understand how that's even an option. I think it should be available to everybody at the highest level at some kind of discounted rate.
Yeah. Well, what happened was the governor, I think, got a lot of pressure from the insurance carriers, and he vetoed that bill. So that means that bill is not going to be coming into law, and so we're left with what we had, which was basically you get mandatory PIP coverage in $10,000, but there is no mandatory bodily injury coverage. What does that mean? That means basically that if you get into an accident and the other driver does not carry bodily injury, you're not going to be able to recover from that person, which is kind of scary, because that would leave the person that got hurt in a tough financial situation. So the only solution to that is to make sure you carry enough insurance through your own auto policy, so that in the event that you have an accident or something, that at least you have enough insurance to cover you. And the type of coverage that would kick in that instance is what's called coverage, uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. When you're applying for insurance, it's always like a separate thing that you need to pay for. But I would recommend you get it, because that's the kind of stuff that'll protect you in the event that you get hit by somebody who does not have mandatory bodily injury coverage.
Listen, just listening to you, I automatically feel protected. Whether it's life insurance, auto insurance.
Okay. I got it covered.
Hurricane, come on down, because I got Imran Malik on my side. Blow my roof up. I'm getting a new roof. I'm buying bodily insurance, and I'm definitely buying life insurance right here today, right now.
Good.
Guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to Imran. Tell them how to get a hold of you.
Yes, please. It's always a free consultation. You can ask whatever you want. My number is 407-500-1000, or my website is imaliklaw.com. Just give me a call anytime.
Thank you for joining the show, guys. You've listened to another Real Sense Now episode. Tune in every Saturday, 11 to 12, while we give you the facts on all things real estate and anything trending in the space. Thanks. See you next week.